Good afternoon, everybody. JT coming to you this afternoon with Support Local LKN. Been a little while since we've come to you with a video. We're now, I think we figured out we're about 4 months into this. And I'll tell you what, it's great to kind of come back where this all started. We're currently sitting here inside of Flock right here in Mooresville. We've got one of the owners of Flock, Joe, is with us here this afternoon. He's had us down. You've heard of fireside chats. We're down here having a bar side chat. And one of the big reasons of coming down here today is we wanted to make sure that we kind of circle back and see what businesses are doing to try to stay up on what they can do to, again, weather the storm, but make it as safe as possible for any of their patrons out there. And I think, Joe, you were telling me a little bit, you guys have come up with some pretty creative ideas as far as helping your patrons out. But before we get into that, give us a little bit about your background other than the owner of Flock.
I also am an electrical engineer. I earned my PhD from Cornell University, and I have been working in UVC technology for 10 plus years, as well as some other cutting edge technologies to do RF and microwave communications.
Excellent, excellent. Now, basically what he just said, for most of the viewers out there, if you're anything like me, that was about 6 miles over my head, and Joe promised that he was going to get it down to my level. Tell us a little bit about what that means and how are you implementing that here in the restaurant?
Well, we've actually installed a UVC disinfection system here in our restaurant. This system is for air purification, and it resides within our HVAC heating air conditioning system. This is kind of cool. There are certain wavelengths of light that actually react with viruses, bacteria, and molds. What we have installed here at Flock is a UVC sterilization system. The UVC range that we have is operating at 254 nanometers. At that particular wavelength, we cannot see it with the human eye. It's invisible to us, but it actually reacts strongly with viruses, bacteria, and molds. And what it does is it actually gets absorbed by the microbe, and actually it disrupts its DNA. So the pathogen can no longer replicate. So now you have something that you essentially neutered. So now we have neutered the threat, and even though it still could, be alive, it's neutered. It cannot replicate anymore. So it cannot reproduce and it cannot cultivate inside of our bodies. Therefore, it can no longer infect us. So effectively, what we've done here is we installed a system that actually helps prevent the transmission of airborne infection.
Right, and I think that's a perfect point there. Helps prevent. Nothing is 100% certainty as far as that goes. Nothing is going to sterilize. But when you're talking about a space that's going above and beyond and really trying to do the best they can for their patrons, I think this is a great step in that direction. Is this something that is just anybody can go out and get their hands on, or is this something really that's best left to somebody that truly has the background?
It is it's something that should be left to professionals. UVC, and the wavelength of the UVC is it's anywhere between 100 nanometers and 280 nanometers. That doesn't mean much to people, but it's ultraviolet light that the sun produces in the solar spectrum. And actually, it's near or at the same wavelength that tanning beds are. So when you go into a tanning bed, you limit the exposure you do to your skin, and you also wear eye protection. So I can't express this enough. We want everyone to be safe. We want everyone to be healthy through the navigation through these tough times we're in. UVC is a great technology. I've been working in it for 10 plus years, but there are some dangers to it. So everyone should take all the precautions. You can get these light bulbs at these wavelengths commercially, but please read all the precautions. And if you're getting a system installed in your house for your personal use, you can do that, but I would consult with professional HVAC companies to do that.
Right. Now, you mentioned a little bit about the fact that it's very similar to what you would see in a tanning bed. This isn't something that anybody walking in here would ever be exposed to directly. This is something that's actually, as you said, it's inside or within the HVAC system.
It's inside the ductwork for our HVAC system. It's up where the return air all comes together, so everything is kind of concentrated in one particular region, and that's where the light source is, and that light source just irradiates all that air at that particular wavelength, 254 nanometers, and that actually then does the damage to the DNA and effectively neuters viruses, bacteria, and molds.
All right. It's great to see you guys coming back, and you're now strong again. How's the business been in the restaurant?
We're doing okay. We're anywhere between 50 and 70%. We're still not back to full strength, but we understand some of our patrons, some of our loyal customers might not be ready to go out yet, and we totally accept that, and that's what it should be. Right. They should come out when they're comfortable to come out. So right now we're doing good. We got most of our staff back, and we appreciate the people that are coming in here and patronizing during these difficult times.
Gotcha. And I know you haven't changed, I guess, the entire model, where you're still offering now takeout just as much as you were, so people that aren't comfortable can still do the takeout process like you've had.
Yeah, takeout is still available for lunches and dinner pretty much any time that we're open. And so that's still available. We have limited our hours a little bit. We're closing a little early on Wednesdays and Thursdays at 10 o'clock instead of midnight. We're open till midnight on Fridays and Saturdays, and on Sundays we are open from 11 to 3 o'clock.
Excellent. And I guess this is a perfect transition now, because I know how much he loves being in front of the camera. This is a great time for us to bring Colin in. Colin, come on, say hello. Got to catch up a little bit. For those of you that may want to scroll back, way back to the very first video we ever did. This is the gentleman that was in the video with me here. Colin, thank you again for having us down again one more time.
Thank you, JT and Rhonda, for all the great work you've done in the community. We appreciate it. We're glad to be the first. We want to help out in every way we can.
Well, you guys have done a ton with that, because I think you've really shown what restaurants can do and what they can be capable of, and it's so wonderful to see within the community that you have that kind of strength, and one person gets behind the next and starts building off of that. So we're touching a little bit about some of the things that you had for offerings. You're still doing takeout. You're still doing some of the normal Flock menu.
And we're also adding on a brunch menu on Sundays, 11 to 3, just some different things every week and some staples, just trying to change it up a little bit, give some different offerings people, some things we just haven't done in the past.
Gotcha. And I understand too, music is back.
Every Thursday night, local bands, trying to get all of our friends together, socially distanced, but right. Getting the community back together slowly is something that's very important to us.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, with what you're seeing from the customers and your patrons coming inside, what have they been sharing with you as far as what you've been able to do? And I know you've got tables spaced out with some chairs removed and things like that, and nice enough that you guys have such a big space that you have a lot more airflow than a lot of restaurants do.
Yeah, we're lucky in that way that we were never really crammed in here at any point before.
Right.
And we spaced it out a bit better than it was before, just with the new regulations and guidelines. And people, everyone's a little confused. No one knows exactly what the right thing to do is right now, but everyone kind of wants to shade back to a normal in a way, while also nobody wants to get anybody else sick or put anybody at risk. So we're finding a new path, and every day is a little bit different, and every day is something new, but we're trying to take the feedback that we get and move forward the best we can.
Yeah, and I think that's important to say too, is that every day is truly a new path, and that's a perfect segue for this statement that I'll make next, and that is the fact that we cannot stop our charge, okay? Just because things are getting a little bit better and things are improving and showing signs that we may be on the right track, we've got to stay out there and helping these restaurants, helping these local small businesses. Don't give up that push yet. All right, we are in this for the long haul, and it's because of people like this, and they're going the extra mile to try to make sure everybody stays safe. And again, take care of their customers. So we really appreciate the effort and the added extra effort that you guys have put into doing all this. We were joking earlier that when we actually made our very first video out here standing outside of Flock 4 months ago, it was something that we really didn't know what we were going to do, but we just wanted to raise awareness and let people know you guys were going to be here. I have to say it's a great feeling to sit here and feel like everything's on the right track. It's not where we want it to be, but it's pointed in the right direction. And again, seeing the efforts that you guys are making, using your background and taking that into account and saying, hey, what can I do to improve this for my customers? It's truly a great effort you have.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We'll be coming to you again with another video real soon. Take care.
Be safe.
Bye.